What gets me, Matt Kean, is that this wasn't a secret appointment. You weren't trying to pull the wool over the New South Wales public's eyes. You took this to Cabinet and it was signed off. So what were the rest of your Cabinet colleagues doing when this submission was made?
Well, I think the rest of my Cabinet colleagues accepted my argument that Malcolm Turnbull was the best qualified person to help us reduce our emissions and grow our economy. But clearly in the days following that Cabinet announcement, there were concerns by some of the backbench and by members of the community that this decision would alienate elements of it.
Members of what community? Who were you listening to in the community per se? You're talking about talkback radio? You're talking about comments on news articles? Was it something more substantial than that?
Well, I think my colleagues, first and foremost, there were a number of concerns raised by my colleagues, both in Cabinet and out of Cabinet. There were people in the community that were ringing electorate offices and making a lot of noise. Clearly, it was a controversial appointment. I still think that Malcolm is the best person to help us meet our policy objectives. But, Laura, you can't do good policy without managing the politics. That's been the problem in tackling the climate change debate for the last decade. The politics have got in the way. I'm trying to move forward and manage the politics. And Malcolm Turnbull, love him or loathe him, is a lightning rod. Inspires very fierce opinions, no matter what your views are. We need someone that can unite the community and help us move forward in this debate.
Well, who might that be?
Laura, if you're offering, we're going through a process at the moment. I want to make sure that we get someone very well qualified that will not be a lightning rod for public dissent. So we'll go through a proper process. Right now, we'll have the Chief Scientist of New South Wales, Professor Hugh Durrant-White, acting as the chair. This role has nothing to do with coal mines. This is all about supporting our existing industry. Players like BlueScope and Tomago set themselves up for a low-carbon future, supporting them to be able to thrive here in New South Wales. That's what this is about. It's about growing our economy, creating jobs and driving investment into this state, nothing else.
So when you told Malcolm Turnbull he wasn't going to get the gig after all, he obviously took it with good grace.
Malcolm Turnbull is a good man. He has he's someone that has made an outstanding contribution to Australian public life. He's someone that I look up to, and I will continue to do that. Malcolm Turnbull handled it like the professional he is, and I hope that
by
we'll be
blaming
able
News
to
Corp.
find other ways. That's a matter for Malcolm Turnbull. But when I made the phone call to Malcolm, he was professional about it. He understood the reasons and he was very respectful, as I would expect him to be.
Okay, Matt Kean, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Laura.